Do you ever feel like your workflow could be faster or more efficient? Well, today I'm going to be introducing you to the open timeline. This is the method used by Ruby's greatest animators Monty Ohm and Shane Neuville to streamline animation, rendering, and post-processing all into one smooth pipeline. Before we get started, I'm happy to say I'm sponsored! Adulate me, my cupcakes! This episode of Animation Analysis is sponsored by Boomslank. Click on the link in the description to check out their stuff and use my offer code CAKESTATION to get 10% off your order. I'll tell you more about them later. Without further ado, let's get into it. To play along, you'll need your choice of 3D software like Blender, Poser, MMD, or Maya, and a video editor. I recommend DaVinci Resolve, but there are other free editors like HitFilm Express or even Blender's built-in video editor that you can use. I'm going to be working in Blender, but I'll keep things non-specific so that most of you can follow along in your own program. First, open your animation program, and then open your video editor. Then, we're going to start working on our shot. Typically, 3D animators do something called keyframe cuts, using one-frame camera movement to simulate a cut. This can work, but having your entire animation in one file can get extremely slow, and it doesn't afford you the freedom of a real cut. Instead, we're going to make each one of our shots its own file. Next, we'll make our project folder. Make a folder called Shots, and inside it, make another folder called Notice. Don't name your shot something like Shot 1, because later you might decide you want more shots between Shot 1 and Shot 2, so name it something based on what happens in the shot. From here on, we will put every 3D project file in the Shots folder, and every image sequence we render will get its own named folder. Animate your scene, and then it's ready to be exported as a PNG image sequence. Quick tip. Most programs have a feature that lets you render a low-quality capture of your viewport called a playblast. This is typically much faster than doing a normal render and is great for quickly roughing out your animations. Render the shot into its folder, hop over to your editor, and import your image sequence as a video clip. Now you've got yourself a weird, gray, crappy animation in your timeline. Now the whole point of the open timeline method is to fill the timeline as fast as possible. It doesn't matter if your shot isn't finished. Render it and put it in the timeline. Keep on improving your shots from gray nightmare to full color effects and visuals until the deadline arrives. This method is what allowed Monty to create 2 to 5 minute long action sequences in 3 weeks or less, in some cases 2 minutes in just a few days. This method also lets you work out of order. Have you ever started an animation just because you had one cool shot in your head? Well, do that one first and work backwards. Or do the beginning, middle, and end and fill in the gaps. Or you can simply decide to add insert shots to an action that felt too fast. On top of it all, since you rendered your shots as image sequences, you can use PNGs with transparency and render out the background, character, and effects on different isolated layers, giving you the ability to have motion blur on your background but not on your characters, or simply different amounts. Blur it, drop the color out completely, or turn everything into silhouettes. Even outside of creative decisions, sometimes if your background and your characters are too close in brightness, you can just change that on your characters or objects to make them stand out more. All you have to do is re-render your shot into the same folder, add BG, FG, CAR, or effects to the file name so the editor can import it separately. This may all seem like a lot, but trust me, once you've gotten into it, you will never regret switching. This workflow has made me faster and made my animations even cooler. And hey! You need to buy from Boomslank if you want to be cooler too. Look at this, guys. This is a small company making the slickest original merch out there. Phone cases, shirts, hoodies, stickers, all plastered with incredible original art. Don't just wear your favorite anime on your chest. Throw your support behind the culture itself and support small artists in the process. And as if the prices weren't already unbeatable for such high quality stuff, you can use my cool as heck offer code CAKESTATION to get 10% off your whole order. Christmas is around the corner, guys. Pick up some Boomslank merch for yourself or for a friend and help support the channel. All the links are in the description below. As always, please consider supporting me on Patreon, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video. The sun is burning in the sky. Strands of clouds go slowly drifting by. In the park, the lazy bees are joining in the flowers among the trees. And the sun burns in the sky.